You've given us so much already. I want to be able to not only pay you back for giving my brothers better lives, but I want to be with your granddaughter for the rest of my life. As a demon, and as her husband.
Aw, that's cute.
I promise to take care of her and love her for the rest of my life. I want to be with her and provide her with the life she deserves. I may be a demon, but I love her, and will do anything to protect her and keep her happy.
That's so cute. Oh my God, Sam, you're definitely a sweetheart. That's why I love you. You're very much a sweetheart. Oh jeez, I just want to hug you right now and cry tears of joy. That's so sweet.
Forward deep within, I can't go through it alone, and I won't leave you on your own. I stand before you now and promise you I am not afraid. I will fight and guide the way. We will rise again to glory then, soar into the sky. If you stop and see, then you just might believe.
Sup guys, the name's Runner Dragon and welcome back to Seduce Me to the Demon War. Yes, I am back. That was a long vacation. I couldn't really stop thinking about making the Sam route for you guys, but here I am once again. Whew, now we get to do the final route, Sam's route. I bet you've been waiting a whole entire week for me to upload this, and now I will do it. Oh, so just a little heads up, I am currently babysitting my brother, so if you start to hear his voice or whatever, I apologize for that, because you know, him being my brother and all of that. So yeah, and after I'm finished with this whole Seduce Me stuff, I will try to upload as much as possible because I will be starting college in a few weeks. Right now I have 1 day off, and I have to change my schedule. So hopefully I keep that day off and I can record for you guys. So without further ado, let us start Sam's route.
Huh?
Okay, yes, I've played the first game.
Okay, awesome. Next question. You do know this is Sam's route, right? The brute middle brother? The asshat who stole your first kiss when you first met the guys?
Hashtag Sam is the best. Yes, I am aware of this. Oh, just so you know that Sam has moved up a rank, so he's tied with Eric as #1 bae. Because I'm like, I can't choose between the two. It became that horrible. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know.
Oh, awesome. All right then. I mean, I like Sam's story the best, but that's because he goes through a lot and goes through even more in this story.
Oh, tell me about it.
Anyway, I have one last question for you. Some people like hearing the trigger warnings before they start games, while others don't really care and just want to play. It's cool either way, but do you want to know about some of the content listed in the game?
For you viewers, sure.
No problem. It's my pleasure. Well, this game is recommended for players ages 18 and up. Trigger warnings include suicide, war, torture, mentions of rape, and a large amount of violence and sexual content.
You guys have been warned.
Don't worry though, any sex scene choice you encounter is completely up to you. You can play this game without needing to go through the sex scenes and still get the good endings. Consent is important. I think that should be everything. All right. Phew, that took a while.
You forgot something.
Long time no see, Diana.
Huh? What did I forget?
You forgot about the disclaimer.
Oh, crap! Oh, how could I have forgotten about that?
It's fine, I'll take care of it. This game was produced by Michaela Laws using the Ren'Py visual novel engine. We truly hope you enjoy this story.
Thanks, Diana. Now, don't you have a war to go fight?
I do. I just wanted to make sure everything was in order before the story began. I'll take my leave now.
Thanks, Di.
I still want to call you Di anyway.
Do not call me Di!
Anyway, we really do hope you like the story. Have fun! See you at the end.
See you at the end, Kay. There's gonna be multiple endings because hoo-wee.
Is this wise?
What other choice do we have?
We have plenty of choices. Why be impatient about this?
The Demon Lord is vulnerable now. We can't wait any longer.
Striking quickly is not always the best option. We must regroup and charge at full force.
For once, I agree with Snake.
But what if he does the same? We have the advantage. We have the terrain on our side. We can win this war here and now.
We may have the terrain on our side, but we don't have the strength to fight a second battle without rest.
Going now is suicide. My lady, you've been silent this whole time. How should we proceed? We don't have the strength to finish the battle, but the Demon Lord is weak. This may be the only chance to strike him down.
We'll push them back. He's weak, so we can easily force his hand and make him retreat. Once we corner him against the decaying sea, we'll strike and finish him off.
Okay, then.
Sam, you're being extremely frugal about this. A wedding is supposed to be a grand occasion.
B! I'm referring to Eric and Sam. So, mostly Sam because this is his route and I love him. And yeah, okay, I'm just gonna shut up now.
I agree. We have the funds to make this wedding a large event.
James has been bumped to second bay. Okay? Because that's fair. For me.
Dude, I can make you a giant cake, and we can have a big buffet, and streamers, and a DJ, and...
That would be awesome and stuff. But, yeah, that would be awesome, Matthew. That would be totally awesome.
Sam, calm down.
Oh, Damien Kareem, you just look so done with the world right now. Precious. Planning a wedding was like strategizing for a war. Ruthless, quick, and everything had to be precisely organized for success. It was both intriguing and terrifying to think about. However, it was my wedding, so it had to be done. Sam and I were getting married, and his brothers had become our assistant wedding planners. Sam was happy that his brothers were going to assist, but I could tell that their constant suggestions were grating on his nerves. I could totally tell he looked so done. We were sitting around in the dining room, poring over a large scramble of papers that were covered in names, costs, and other bits of information that we needed to know. Each number and letter was important and needed to be checked again and again with each decision we made. There were so many names on the table, I had barely seen mine. Luckily, however, our sample cards and party favors had Sam's name and mine on them. Name! Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing like in my last playthrough in my Sam route for the first game. So I'm going to put my nickname. Yay! Gobi! I looked over at Sam, knowing that he was getting frustrated. It was obvious by the look on Sam's face that he was very much annoyed by the entire situation. Oh, just in case you people haven't watched my first game, which I highly recommend you do if you haven't, or if you watch somebody else play the first game and saw Sam's route and then came to me for the second game, that's fine with me. So I heard Sam's route is the canon route, so I decided to use my nickname from like my real name, since he's the canon route and we have to be with him. So yeah, kind of sad because Eric is not the main route, canon route, kind of sad about that. But at the same time, I'm happy because I love Sam. Go Sam.
I don't want a big wedding. I just want to get married.
That's kind of like me too. I don't want it to be too big. 'Cause I am a shy little shit.
Then why not just go to the courthouse and get your marriage license?
You could do that.
Because this is important, okay?
Oh, okay. Sam looked at me and my heart skipped a beat. His eyes bored into mine and I could see the deep love he had for me in his emerald irises. Aww. That face! Stop making that face. I'm gonna cry. No, I'm joking.
This is a big deal for me. For us. I do really want a wedding, but just not a big one. All right?
It was almost as if he was asking me, pleading for my permission to have the wedding size he wished for. I wasn't really sure myself if I wanted a big or a small wedding. I was still curious on how we were going to get this all done. James crossed his arms as Eric rubbed his forehead in defeat. Aw, Eric's just like, no, I'm done with you. James and Eric are like, we're so done with you right now. Just why? Why did you ask us to do this? Damien and Matthew, however, looked at their older brother with a new gaze of respect and idolizing awe. That would be understandable since Sam is older than Matthew and Damien. That would be understandable. Yeah.
If that is what you want, then that is what we will arrange.
Yay!
This wedding will be amazing, no matter how big or small it is.
Yeah!
Why don't we ask the bride what she wants then? She may want a large wedding.
No, I don't. I hate crowds. I hate everything. I hate everything that has to do with socializing. Which reminds me of socializing. I can't even say it. Socializing. Reminding of socializing. Okay. I had come back from my college orientation and it was fun actually. I got to interact with people. Much to all of your displeasure, yes, I have been in contact with people. And I made friends. So I'm kind of excited to start college. Anyway, let's continue. All 5 boys looked at me and I suddenly felt cornered. I wasn't sure. Oh, okay. I'm just gonna, okay. I'm gonna go with the small wedding because I like small things. Like, I don't like to interact with a lot of people, so I just want it to be nice and small and we get it done. That'd be cool. Yeah, let's keep it like that. I had to agree with Sam. I didn't want to make this a spectacle. This wedding was important to Sam and me. That was all that mattered. I would like to keep our wedding small, too. It's our wedding, so it doesn't need to be a big extravaganza. Yes, girl, yes. Sam looked at me and smiled, causing me to smile back. It was our day, so we had to celebrate it our way. As the brothers took a moment to look over more notes, Sam kissed my cheek softly, surprising me. Aww. That is so cute. That's so soft of you, Sam. That's so soft of you. Oh! Aw. I glared at Sam as he smirked a playful grin at me before turning back to the table of papers and looking through them with his brothers. I giggled to myself and gently held the cheek he kissed. I was glad to make him happy. James pushed his glasses further up his nose and put together a stack of papers, gazing at the content on the front page. You guys can't tell, but I did. As I was reading that, I actually pushed my glasses up my nose, just like James, and I was like, yeah!
Well, everything that you both listed should be possible for the wedding. I can call up the venues for the ceremony and reception. Eric, can you organize the decorations?
Yes, Eric, lovely Eric. Can you organize the decorations? Oh, as the boys began to divide up the work before I was able to step in, my phone began to ring. My screen showed Naomi's face, and I stood up from my seat. I'll be right back. I gotta take this.
Huh? Oh, yeah, okay.
I quickly kissed Sam's cheek before rushing out of the dining room and into the lobby to answer the phone. Hello?
Hey, how's everything going?
Naomi! Huh? Oh, hey, Naomi. Everything's going well. We're going through the details now.
That's good. Seriously, Naomi, you're hogging the phone.
Suzu? My jaw dropped at the sound of Suzu's voice. Hey, girl, hey. What's up? Suzu was supposed to be in Italy and wasn't going to make the wedding. Why was she with Naomi?
Surprise! I was hogging the phone to keep Suzu being here a surprise, but I guess she's too impatient to wait.
Aw.
Fuck waiting. I want to talk to her too.
When did you get in?
Literally 2 hours ago. We wanted to come visit, but we figured you'd be too busy, so we just called instead. We're so happy for you. Suzu had to come back for the wedding.
Aw, best friend came back for the wedding. This is awesome. Guys, this is really awesome. I felt like crying. Naomi and Suzu were my best friends, and I was so glad to have them. Naomi was following her dreams to become a chef, while Suzu spent a lot of time with her family, so I felt very special to have time to even talk to them. I sat on the stairs and chatted with them, catching up on their lives. Suzu's family was still in Italy, visiting family and traveling the country for a couple of months, but Suzu managed to fly back not only to attend my wedding, but also to manage her family's casino. Naomi, on the other hand, had been hard at work, both as summa cum laude of her culinary school. I have no idea if I pronounced that correctly. I apologize if I didn't. And being a paid intern at the Pink Lady Cafe. Kay, often out of town, gave Lily a manager position while Naomi manned the cashier and baking duties. It was really nice to hear how their lives had changed over the past 2 years. Excuse me. Mine, however, had barely changed with the exception of the upcoming marriage. I was going to college for a degree I wanted, and I was halfway to my bachelor's degree. I haven't even started college yet. What the fuck, man? However, my classes weren't hard, and they were very lenient towards me because I was Harold Anderson's granddaughter. Part of me was frustrated at the special treatment I received, while the other part of me was flattered. Sam, however, went into the police force. Yeah. That sounded weird. With the help of his incubus magic, he was able to don a badge and serve the community well. Everyone knew him and loved him for his hard work, despite his boss being jealous of him at times. I never understood why he joined the force, but I was very happy to know that he felt the need to help people, like I did. I think he mostly did it just to kick some ass. Mostly. Yeah, that's what I believe. But the helping people out is part of it too, yeah.
So, are you ready to get married?
Yes, I am. It's a lot to take in, I will admit.
Aha, you're dancing around the question.
Shut up, Suzu, I love him. I didn't mean to say that, but anyway. Anyway. Huh? No, I'm not.
Suzu, stop teasing. She's probably just flustered from the work she has to do.
Listen to Naomi, she's right. As Naomi and Suzu began to bicker on the other end of the phone, I began to mull over my life. I was 20, turning 21 soon, and I was about to be married. Married! Was I going too fast? Nah, girl. People get married at 21. So, or 20. Yeah, they get married at that age. My mind began to picture Sam and how happy he was when he proposed to me and when I said yes. Right in the moonlit sky. Literally. Oh my god, it was so adorable and beautiful. And I just wanted to jump through the computer and just hug him myself. Yeah. My heart fluttered at the image and I couldn't help but smile. I made the right choice. As I thought of Sam, I couldn't help but let memories of our relationship dance around in my mind. He was sweet and loving, but at the same time, he was hardworking, protective, and proud to be mine. He proved his love for me every time he held me and kissed me. And had sex. Yeah, okay.
I bet you two already had sex, though, so there won't be that awkward virgin honeymoon, huh?
You got that right, Suzu. Amy had sex. That's our response. I nearly dropped my phone. I could hear Suzu coughing at me from the other end, but I was too focused on what she said. Yeah, we did not. I would be lying if I said we did not have sex. So I'm gonna go with, yeah, we've had sex. So what? I remember the night we first made love. Sam was gentle, but the passion between us had been heated and heavy. Ooh, adding to our love for each other. A small shiver ran up my spine at the memory. We made love multiple times after that, when we needed each other or when we wanted to express our love for each other with our bodies. Whoa. Oh! Okay! Making love was truly another way we showed our deep passion for each other.
Hell yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Don't worry, girl. You're not the only one who no longer has her virginity.
Suzu, you gotta tell me who this man is. You gotta tell me who you lost your virginity to. Talk to me right now. Who the fuck did you lose that virginity to? Talk to me, girl. Talk to me.
What? You too? Am I the only one who still hasn't had sex yet?
Don't worry, precious Naomi. It'll happen to you soon enough. Pat, pat. Don't worry about it.
It's not like sex is mandatory, Naomi. Calm down.
Suzu's right. I couldn't help but chuckle a bit. We were so different, but we truly loved each other and were close enough to talk about anything.
But hey, we gotta let you go, okay? We haven't eaten and it's almost 9 p.m.
Dude, go and eat! Go! I'll hang up right now so you can go eat. Go! Jeez, go get some food. We can chat tomorrow or something.
You got it, Chica. We'll call you whenever we're free, even if it's not tomorrow. For now, food!
Yes, Suzu knows what's up.
Alright, we'll talk to you later.
Yeah, call you guys soon. We hung up simultaneously and I looked down at my phone with a smile. It was good to hear from them at last. However, as I made my way back towards the dining room, I stopped.
I want to do it.
Do what exactly?
You cannot be serious.
If Eric is like, no, don't do it, listen to him. Listen to the Eric. Listen to the Bay. Listen to the hashtag #GoopBears. Okay, I'm gonna shut up. I quickly hugged the wall and emptied my thoughts so Damien wouldn't hear them. I listened intently, thinking about Naomi and Suzu as I let my ears capture what I wanted to discover. I had learned so many tricks on how to avoid Damien. It was now easy to fool him. Hey, that's my girl! Tricking Damien like that.
A demon marriage? In the human world? How do you expect to pull this off?
What?
I don't know. I just want to marry her. Both like a human for her and like a demon for me.
Oh.
I mean, it's a nice idea, but you need a lot, and I mean a lot, of things we can't get here in the human world.
Sam wants to visit the demon black market to find the things he needs.
Wow, Damien, just ratted your brother out like that. Wow. Wow. Just why? Anyways, that's a stupid idea, Sam. Please don't.
Sam! Are you that idiotic?
Listen to James, Sam. Listen to James.
Gee, thanks, Damien.
The sarcasm in his voice. Thanks a lot, you shitbag, for telling them what I wanted to do in secret.
The black market? Really? You'd go that far?
It's my goddamn choice.
A choice that will make you an even bigger target for angels. What the hell are you thinking?
Don't do it, Sam. Don't do it. Don't do it. Listen to James. Don't do it. My mind continued to focus on my friends, but my heart became heavy and frightened. Sam wanted things he'd have to get at a black market? I didn't even realize there was a demon black market? I felt majorly confused, but I let the emotion simply rumble in my chest instead of in my mind.
Look, I know you want to do this with her, but can't you at least think about this? What if you can't find all of the materials needed for it?
Yeah. Have some common sense. Oh, wait. This is Sam we're talking about. Guys, this is Sam we're talking about. He has no common sense. He is a dork. But I love this dork.
Even more so, what if she doesn't want to do it? She is human after all. Did you even ask her?
I mean, I'm okay with the idea, but I don't know how it works. Can you tell me how it works?
I was...
You didn't... Yeah, I was not even aware of this. You didn't even ask me. I completely forgot about this. Sam, you're supposed to be asking me these questions.
Oh, for the love of God.
Sam, come on! I know you're a meathead, but you're not this dumb. Why haven't you asked her?
Matthew has a point. Matthew has a point.
I just want to bind my soul to her, all right? You know, like the fucking demon I actually am.
Oh. Binding souls. Okay. Okay. Still gotta think about this, because I don't fully know how it works. My thoughts went blank. For a moment, I had forgotten that he was, in fact, a demon. But bind his soul to me? What did he mean?
Yes, you are a demon, but you're in the human world now. Marriage doesn't work like that here.
He's so upset about this. I just want to, like, calm him down. Just pet, calm down. Calm down, man. Calm down, my babe.
Sam, why are you having doubts?
He's reading your mind. Don't, stop. Don't have doubts. Don't have doubts, please. Do not have doubts. Don't. My entire body froze. What? He was having doubts? Why? I suppressed the surprise in my mind, still remembering that I was eavesdropping, but I was starting to feel upset.
I'm not having doubts. I want to do this. You
just what? You want to return to the demon world? You want to marry her in the abyssal plains instead of here?
And if I did? So what if I do? I can get us there, and we'd be able to do the ceremony, and then we'd come back.
We could.
You may want to go back, but she would become a target for demons to kill for sport. She'd die before you even returned. Did you even think about that? Huh?
Okay, James also has a point. Please listen to James. James is... I know you... Sam, you're my bae. James, you're my second bae. But Sam, please. James has more common sense than you. Please listen to him and take this into consideration. I mean, I wouldn't mind doing it if I knew the full concept. But still, listen to James. Love you, but still listen to James. A large silence followed. I became lost and nervous. Why was Sam so obsessed about this issue?
James, calm down. Yelling at him solves nothing.
Bae is right. I mean, Eric is right. Jeez, I have been obsessed with Eric for the past week, so I'm so sorry if I keep referring to Eric as bae because he's the bae. He's supposed to be the bae, you know? But then again, Sam is the bae, too. So, yeah, I've just been obsessed with Eric for the past week, so don't mind me. But yeah, Eric's right. Don't yell at him, because it doesn't solve anything.
Sam, we all know you really want to do this. We're just trying to show you the facts before you do something stupid.
Matthew said something smart. There you go. Listen to the cinnamon bun. And he's silent. I couldn't stand it any longer. It was not a good time to bring it up, so I needed to clear the air of the situation. Eventually, I could talk to Sam about it, but not now. I mentally signaled that I was ending the call and thinking about rejoining the room, knowing Damien would hear my thoughts.
She's coming back.
Wow. I turned the corner and looked at the five, seeing them obviously divided. Sam was on one side, but both hands on the table as he stared down at it in defeat. The other four were on the opposite side, looking to me. Hey, what happened?
Nothing. We just had a bit of a... Fuck this, I'm done.
No, come back, bae, Sam, no. Oh, okay, he needs a breather, so I'll just let him have a breather. Sam pushed away from the table and began to walk towards me. I watched as he passed me and climbed the stairs, obviously beyond angry. Sam!
Miss, wait.
What do you want? I turned back to see the four Incubus brothers with worried looks on their faces. I wanted to go to Sam, but I knew that he needed to calm down, so I stayed. Good for you, girl. You understand me. Let him calm down. Let him take a breather. What is it?
Well, this is very hard to ask.
Please, go on. Do not hesitate.
If Sam wanted to do something very, very specific and hard to accomplish, and if you wanted to, do that with you, would you?
You tried, Matthew. You tried to make it, like, not obvious, kind of. You tried to... I already know what he's talking about, but still, because I listened in. Still, you tried, Matthew. You little cinnamon bun, you.
Basically, would you allow Sam to do something that makes him happy but risks his life?
I don't want him to get hurt, because I don't want him to die. But if it makes him happy, then let him do it. I can't stop him. It's basically like with Damien when the ritual to turn him human could actually risk his life. So it's like it was something he was happy to do, but it actually risked his life. But I was like, okay, let him turn human. Let him go on with the ritual because he felt happy about going to be human. So I just let him go with it. So this is the same thing. If Sam wants to go to the demon world and do demon marriage with me, if it makes him that happy, then be my guest. I really don't care because I want to make him happy. Well, I care because I want to make him happy. Whew. Okay, so yes, the answer to that question is yes, James. I will do it because I want him to be happy. I couldn't help thinking about the conversation they had, which made Damien furrow his eyebrows. Crap. Dude, why? You were proving me wrong. You were so good keeping that conversation back and being like, Damien's not gonna catch me because I have tricks up my sleeve. But apparently, that ain't happening. Anyway.
You heard everything.
Yeah, I did. So what? I mean, you don't got proof? You have no proof! And I'm gonna run away up to my room.
You did?
Yeah, I did. Sorry. I closed my eyes. There was no use in denying it. But was it something I needed to talk about with them? I knew I'd have to talk about it with Sam. But with his brothers? Talk about it. I need to know more about this demon marriage. I needed to know more about what was going on. Why was Sam so keen on doing whatever he had planned? I heard what... Whew. Excuse me again. I heard what you were all talking about, but I don't understand. A demon marriage? James let out a sigh before rubbing his temples with one hand, crossing his other arm over his chest. Matthew stepped forward, becoming the teacher of the moment.
Well, you see, humans plan weddings and have licenses and stuff, and bam! You're married. Demons, however, are a little more intimate.
How so? Intimate?
Well, basically, when demons want to be together forever, they don't put rings on each other or anything like that. They bind each other's souls.
What? This was making no sense. But then again, it was demon magic they were talking about, so it wasn't familiar to me at all. Eric stepped forward and continued.
When two demons want to join together and build their legacy and family, they go through a ritual that binds their souls together for all of eternity. No matter where they are, they will forever sense each other's presence and be able to feel them in their hearts.
I'm in for the demon marriage. Who's in for the demon marriage? Because I am. Yeah, hand raised. I will do it.
Pretty much. It's kind of romantic. It's also pretty complicated.
How complicated? Just feel each other's presence and I want that. Yeah. Pretty complicated.
Well, when a demon binds their soul to another demon, they also swear to give their energy to their partner without question. Normally, willpower can be used to fight back when someone takes our energy, but the binding spell will overrule your will.
Ooh. I'm okay with that. I know Sam wouldn't. As stupid as Sam is, as much as a dork Sam is, I trust him that he won't abuse this power, because if he abuses this power, I will shank him. Okay? Okay. God damn, I'm yawning so much today. Anyways.
Basically, it's constant consent, even if you fight back. Demons have accepted this way of life, but from what we've seen of the human world, humans wouldn't be so keen on this idea.
I mean, yeah, it wouldn't be as much... I wouldn't really particularly agree with this, but I trust Sam. That's why I'm marrying him. It's the whole concept about trust, basically. I suddenly felt a little scared. If I bound my soul to Sam, he'd be able to take my energy whenever he wanted. I knew he wouldn't abuse that, but it was still scary, no longer having a say in whether I wanted to or not. Did I want to bind my soul to him? I shook my head, putting the information in a mental folder bolder before asking another question. It was not something I had to go through right now. I'd be able to think over it later. What's involved with this spell?
Well, it requires a lot of power and a bunch of things to perform the ritual correctly. Our moms, well, except for Damien's, all had to gather everything and perform it with their own energy because there was no one to cast the spell.
Wow. Demon Lord was a dick.
That's because our father was a misogynistic tyrant who demanded more than one partner.
You said some pretty complicated words, James, but yes, I will agree with you. Yes. Okay.
Anyway, you need to have someone to cast the spell. Then you'd need to properly set the magic circle and temper the space. There's a lot you'd have to do.
I can see that. A demon ritual to bind souls. All of it was intriguing to me, yet at the same time, I was concerned over the implied difficulty. Was something like that truly complicated? To bind two souls together. It was romantic in thought, but I guess difficult in process and execution. Sam really seemed passionate about the idea just from how frustrated he was in disagreeing with his brothers. I felt both flattered and worried. Damien walked over to me, obviously hearing my thoughts on the situation, and placed a hand on my shoulder. Jesus, I forgot to tell you guys in the beginning. Sam's route is particularly the longest route that we've done. It's particularly the longest route, and it has the sex scenes are like war. Yeah. So good that you gotta splash a lot of water on your face. Or walk through a waterfall. Yeah, that's how we can do it. Yeah, okay, sure, put it that way. Yeah, so the videos might be longer, or I'd have more parts, since I'm babysitting. So yeah.
Don't let this worry you. He'll talk to you about it when he's ready. I don't believe he fully knows what to do yet.
Okay, Damien, I won't worry about it too much. Just let him talk to me about it, and we'll discuss it then. I nodded and closed my eyes. Now that I understood a bit more about the situation, talking to Sam about it would be easier. I sighed and looked at the boys, seeing them starting to clean at the table and clear the papers off. I had to assume that the planning was done for the night. Guess we'll discuss more another time?
It'll have to wait until the weekend. Much is happening this week, so I won't be available.
Because you're the CEO of the Anderson Toys Company. I understand you.
Same here. I have to train a couple of interns so they know how to properly fit customers with a suit.
Eric, you just keep being you fabulous bae.
This weekend is perfectly fine, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that sounds good. I helped pile the papers in a proper stack on the table, making them ready for the next time they were to be viewed, before I escorted the boys out. Sam remained wherever he was, and didn't see his brothers off. After I closed the door, however, Sam appeared at the balcony above the lobby and began to descend the staircase. Hi, Sam!
Are they gone?
Yeah, they'll be back this weekend. Sam sighed and ran his hand through his hair, letting his shoulders slouch forward.
This is ridiculous. Is wedding prep really this complicated?
From what I've heard, yes. Yes, it is. Very much so. I could only nod before walking over and meeting him as he reached the bottom step. As he stepped off of it, I wrapped my arms around him and nuzzled his forehead, making him look into my eyes. Aw. It'll be worth it in the end when we're married. Yay! Sam smiled and wrapped his arms around my waist, nuzzling my forehead. I felt the deep love in his embrace, wanting to protect me from the world and all the dangers within it. He had protected me so many times with those arms that were wrapped around me. It was adorable to see. Yeah, that's not in the dialogue, by the way. Just decided to put my own words in it.
If I get to be with you forever, then I guess it's worth the work. You doofus.
Dork. As long as you'll have me, I'll be with you forever. Oh, so to explain with the nickname Doofus, I was in a live stream with Michaela, and someone asked where the nickname Doofus came from for Sam, and she said she heard this guy like call her girlfriend Doofus as like a nickname for it. So she's like, okay, that would be a good concept for Sam. So bam, that's where she got the concept Doofus. Got it from a guy who called his girlfriend Doofus. I kind of forgot what the whole situation was, but that's basically it. With a loving gaze, Sam lifted a hand from my waist and cupped my cheek, and I nuzzled into the warmth of his palm and let out a loving sigh.
Hey, can we go somewhere tomorrow?
Like, where exactly? Huh? Sure, I guess. Where do you want to go? Where did you want to go? Thoughts of him going to the black market crossed my mind, making me slightly worried as to where he wanted to go. Sam, however, looked at his feet. Please tell me you're not going to the black market. Please tell me you're not going to the black market.
Well, we already asked your folks and stuff about me marrying you, but there's one person I have to ask permission from.
And who might that be? Who?
Your grandfather.
My grandfather is dead. What? How are you going to ask a person who has been dead for years and has possibly moved on into the afterlife? Please explain this to me, Sam. I know you're trying to be nice and stuff, but please explain how you're going to do that. I was shocked. He wanted to go to my grandfather's grave? Damien had explained that it had been my grandfather who had brought them over from the demon world, but I was still getting used to the idea. Sam continued to explain as I wrapped my head around the question.
I know I sound a little dumb, but he was kind of important to me and my brothers. He's the one who brought us here after all. It's only respectful if, I guess, I kind of ask for his blessing. I mean, it's dumb and we don't have to, but...
Oh, you precious being. You little precious being. You're trying so hard, and I want to hug you right now because you're trying. No, we can. Definitely. Tomorrow around noon then? Wow, I put my voice too high-pitched. Tomorrow around noon then? Sam stared in shock before he nodded with a smile.
All right.
Yeah. The thoughts of us going to visit grandfather's grave somehow made me feel happy instead of sad. We had both visited him before, but we weren't engaged then, and something felt special about this visit. Maybe it was because Sam was doing things right before marrying me. Who knew? We went to bed that night, settled in our plans for the following day. As morning arrived, we got dressed and were out of the house by the time the clock struck noon. It was a bright day and no one else was visiting, so Sam and I were alone in the cemetery. It was a little unnerving, but at the same time, it was nice to be able to spend time at grandfather's grave alone with Sam. I would visit alone eventually, but for now, Sam took control of our visit. Sam sat down in front of the grave, crossing his legs and stared at the stone slab that was my grandfather's gravestone. I followed suit, sitting beside him and planting a bouquet of colorful flowers beside the grave.
No matter how many times we come here, it's still so odd. I remember when we met almost like it was yesterday.
Yeah, it's still strange. We both sat in comfortable silence, looking at the grave. It was strange remembering that 2 years ago, I had met Sam and his brothers literally the day after my grandfather had died. Now I was getting married to Sam. It was surreal to say the very least. Most people who don't like Sam will be like, what the fuck, why the fuck are you marrying this douchebag who stole our first kiss? Like, what the fuck, man? But me, I forgive him for that. Because honestly, he was just trying to heal and whatnot. And yeah, he's actually a sweetheart. He's a tsundere sweetheart, okay? I don't mind tsunderes at all, but still. Kind of makes me mad, but at the same time, it's kind of like, okay with me. Sam straightened his back and cleared his throat, causing me to look at him in confusion.
So, Mr. Anderson, I hope that you're around to hear us and stuff. Your spirit, I mean. I'm fucking this up already.
Oh, you precious big. can I like cook, yo, I don't know. Throughout this whole thing, Sam, you have definitely proven to me that you are worth being mine. Okay? I'm gaining more and more respect for you every time the minute passes. I mean, asking for my grandfather's blessing, even though he's dead and I have no idea how this is going to work out, but it'll somehow work out in the end. I'm like proud of you. This is why you're bae. This is why you matched up with Eric, okay? Cuz you're like, it's very special. Okay? I just love you about that. Okay. What? I was confused. Why was he asking if my grandfather were there? He was buried under the earth and his spirit was probably in the afterlife. See? Even the reader knows. Even she knows. Wow. Even the character knows that it's, how is it going to work? Because he might be in the afterlife by now. Sam took another breath.
I must sound like a complete jackass. You've given my brothers a chance to start new lives, and I can't ever thank you enough. Now, I'm asking for your granddaughter's hand. I must seem like a brat, huh?
No, you're not. It's okay. It's okay. Just, you're fine. You're special. You're precious. Damien is precious, but you're precious too because you're just... this little sugar. I could only watch as Sam ran his hand through his messy hair, obviously deep in thought and formulating his words carefully before speaking. He didn't want to mess up. I could tell by the look on his face.
You've given us so much already. I want to be able to not only pay you back for giving my brothers better lives, but I want to be with your granddaughter for the rest of my life. As a demon, and as her husband.
Aww, that's cute.
I promise to take care of her and love her for the rest of my life. I want to be with her and provide her with the life she deserves. I may be a demon, but I love her, and will do anything to protect her and keep her happy.
That's so cute. Oh my god, Sam, you're definitely a sweetheart. That's why I love you. You're very much a sweetheart. Oh jeez, I just want to hug you right now and cry tears of joy. That's so sweet.
Please, if you're here, I humbly asked for your blessing to marry your granddaughter.
Better say yes, Grandpa, because he is sweet. He may have been an asshole, but he's the sweetest guy I've met. Okay? My heart was overwhelmed by the emotional speech Sam made. Tears were forming in my eyes from the love he was expressing for me. I held my hands over my chest, unable to stop the pounding of my heart. I would be like that too. Sam truly loved me. Wind whooshing. Wind whooshing. As I stared at Sam, a gentle wind passed through the air and brushed over Sam's and my skin. It was out of place. The sun was out and I hadn't felt any breeze at all until just then. Huh? Grandfather? Whoosh whoosh. Whoosh whoosh. Yes, that was Grandfather. Another small breeze brushed over us, making me and Sam smile at the sensation. The wind was my grandfather's answer, and it was gentle enough to let us know that he was happy to see where we were and what we were planning to do. Sam let out the breath he was holding in, now that he knew that my grandfather approved.
I won't let you down.
Aww. I couldn't help a wide smile growing on my face. I was beyond overjoyed at the situation. If Grandfather really was there, I was happy to know that he approved of us. I'm happy too. Trust me. We went home that day, feeling confident and ready for whatever the future held for us. We had gained the blessing of my grandfather, and I was certain that, however we went about this marriage, we were going to care and love each other for the rest of our lives. Just thinking about Sam being with me forever made my heart jump in joy. Was I really that excited to be married to him? My heart thought so, despite him being a demon. Still, the demon ritual remained in the back of my mind, softly prodding my thoughts as we returned home and worked on more wedding arrangements. I looked at Sam, now curious enough to bring up. The question was, would I? Are we talking about the demon marriage now? Sure, at least he deserves to know that I know. It was bothering me. I wanted to know what was on Sam's mind, and I needed to hear his thoughts about it. I looked at Sam as he pored over a guest list. He was proficient with reading now, constantly learning in the past 2 years we had been together, so he was flying through this work with ease. Oh my god, he learned to read! That's so cute. That's yes. I applaud. Yes, Sam, I applaud you. Thank you. You're learning how to read and write. We saw how the writing worked out in the last time in the epilogue. That was so adorable. Still, I needed to break the silence. Sam, can I ask you something? Sam looked up from his work and sat up straight, rolling back his shoulders.
Yeah, sure, what's up?
Promise you won't be mad? Saying things like that will make him mad. See, look at the change in his face. Sam furrowed his eyebrows, now concerned with what I wanted to ask. I bit my lower lip, but he nodded, crossing his arms and leaning back against his chair.
Go ahead.
See, he already sounds pissed. I'm getting scared now. Slightly scared, but still. If I was nervous before, I was even more nervous now. See? That would be me. Well, you see... I looked down at the table, hoping that the wooden surface would help me to find some way to form my thoughts. Once I was able to form my thoughts into words, I looked back up at Sam. Why is having a demon marriage so important to you? Silence! I don't like this! I don't like this. I don't. Sam stared in shock at me. I knew I had thrown him off, but I needed to say it. I wanted him to explain and for us to discuss it. If it was something Sam wanted, I really wished to help him and possibly achieve it with him. If it was impossible, I still wanted to know and at least try regardless. All for him. That's exactly what I would do, to be honest. Sam sighed and looked over at his crossed arms. Was it seriously that big of a deal that he felt shame over it?
Who told you about it?
Know what? I kind of found out on my own? Yeah? Okay. I overheard you and your brothers arguing about it yesterday. Yeah. Whoopsies! He's silent again. I don't like this. I began to worry. Did I make him mad? Would he be furious at me for bringing it up? I watched as he ran both of his hands through his hair and let out a sigh.
Well, we're having a human marriage and stuff, and, well, I guess that I...
Excuse me again. Sam bit his lip, shutting his eyes as he collected his thoughts. I waited patiently, wanting to know exactly what he felt. He then looked up at me with a sad, almost heartbroken look in his eyes.
I guess I just miss being a demon.
Aw. Really? You miss being it? Well, I wouldn't blame him for that. I kind of see that he would miss being a demon because he was totally opposed to coming to the human world from the looks of it in the first game. But then he just went because his brothers were going and he didn't want to stick around his father because he was an asshole. So yeah, I kind of understand where he's coming from. But Sam, you are a demon. Oh, you... Really? Let me just move on.
That's not what I meant. I mean, yeah, I'm a demon, but am I really at this point? I work for a human police force. I live in the human world. I barely ever use my power, so it's like I'm not even a demon anymore.
This is what he meant by not being like a demon. He's a demon, but he's not a demon, basically. Sam looked down at his lap and closed his eyes, slumping his shoulders in almost pathetic guilt.
So I wanted to eventually ask you when the time was right to marry you demon style. Basically, I'd bind my soul to yours and yours to mine. That way, I'll always know when you're okay, and you'd be able to tell if I was too.
I'm okay with the... once again, discuss this with the brothers. I am okay with this idea. If it makes you happy. But what about preparing the spell? Surely you have to arrange it somehow with spell components and whatever else. I can only imagine what soul binding requires.
That I hadn't gotten around to yet. I didn't want to do anything until I knew I could do it, but lately, I found out that it's impossible.
Aw, I want to hug you now. You, Bae, Sam, it's okay. Pat, pat. I can only pat you on the computer screen. Pat, pat. I couldn't help but feel my lips droop into a frown. Sam seemed really bummed about not being able to pull off the ritual. It was a big deal, or so Sam emotionally suggested. Sam ruffled his own hair with his fingers, slightly growling under his breath. Despite not looking at me, I could tell that he was angry with the situation.
The one chance I have to feel like how I really am, and I can't even do it.
Aww. You need hugs. I want to physically go through the computer and give you a hug. I'm sorry. I felt terrible for bringing it up. Sam, however, shook his head and looked to me.
Look, don't worry about it and forget you ever heard anything, okay? We'll get married like normal, and we'll spend the rest of our lives together. We don't need a spell for that.
Look at you, Sam. Just growing up already. You're growing up so fast. Yes. This is why I love you, man. Just move on. You can't do it? Move on. I may be upset, but move on. Yeah. I knew Sam was just trying to avoid talking about it further, so I nodded and agreed. Okay, Sam. Sam nodded before going back to work, as did I. Ooh, darkness. We had so much to do in a small amount of time. We worked the entire afternoon, trying to arrange as much as we could before the passing of time hit us like a wave. Dinner was extremely easy, but our focus was solely on the work at hand. The more work we could accomplish, the less stress we'd have to worry about later. Looking to Sam, I could tell he was exhausted. He had his head in his hands, trying to stay awake as he read over his notes and paperwork, I'm sure for the 5th or 6th time. I was fairly certain he was tired of reading. He always worked so hard and never failed to try and make everything we did the best moment of our lives. He deserved so much, and yet he fell in love with me, a simple human. I had no way to repay him except for loving him back and giving him everything I could. Though, there was one thing. Oh? I'd like to know what this one thing is. My mind traveled to a small bachelorette gift Suzu and Naomi had sent me when they first heard the news. It was lingerie to be used during our honeymoon, so it was simply sitting, folded up neatly in a box under the bed. Remind me to give Suzu and Naomi fist bumps later, because thank you very much. I personally want to own my own lingerie. I want my own lingerie right now, to be honest, but I don't have it. Sadly. Cry. I might get one when I move out and, have a job and all that stuff, which I will soon get. So later in my lifetime. I looked at Sam again, my libido giving me the idea of possibly surprising him and making his night. Ooh, I'm in for it. Another part of my brain told me not to bother with it. That gift was for the honeymoon, so it should be preserved as such. But it was a gift, and it was given to me, so I could essentially do what I want with it. My libido fought over with my logic over the subject as I slightly fawned at the idea of making hot love to Sam, or saving the rough night for the honeymoon. Was I going to do it, though? Oh, geez, okay. I mean, it makes sense to do it for the honeymoon, but we've already had sex before, and yeah, so it wouldn't really be much. So I want to do it. I'm gonna do it. Okay, this sex scene is gonna be totally nosebleedy worthy. So I advise you right now, if you do not want to see this sex scene, skip right now. I'm giving you 3 seconds before I make my choice. 3, 2, 1. You still here with me? Alright then, let's do it. Do it. The more I looked at Sam, the more my inner desire began to burn and light my core on fire. Maybe it was because of his incubus aura, or maybe it was because I loved him that much. Or it could be both. Both is good. It didn't matter. I had to get to the room first and change before Sam came in. If this was going to work, then it needed to be a surprise. I let out a small yawn and stood up, breaking Sam out of his concentration. Hey, I'm gonna go get ready for bed. Mind cleaning everything up for me?
Sure.
Yay, you're the best. Love you. Kiss cheek. Bye. I knew that his exhaustion would hold him back from using his powers for a speed boost, so I had a little while to change and surprise him. I completely forgot about the speed powers. Holy crap. I smiled and walked over and kissed his cheek before walking out of the dining room. As I reached the lobby, I began to hustle up the stairs and into the bedroom. I needed all the time I could get. I quickly stripped out of my clothes and opened the box Suzu and Naomi had sent me, seeing an emerald green and black bra with matching panties. It looked incredibly sexy, and I couldn't wait to see Sam's face when he saw me in it. I would want to see it too, but yeah. As I thought of Sam, I couldn't help but feel a shiver run up my spine. His touches and his love were intoxicating. This was the least I could do for him. His scent was intoxicating, and his eyes were endless traps for me to get lost in. His arms were my castle, and his heart was my timekeeper. He alone made my world perfect, and I could no longer imagine my life without him. I heard Sam's heavy, tired steps as they hit the stairs, forcing me to rush while I hit the box, hid my clothes, and grabbed my black robe to cover myself. As he opened the door, I turned to face the window. Oh shit, here we go.
Hey, you ready for?
Cue the sexy music. Okay. Sam stopped. I was certain that me facing away from him and my black robe surprised him into silence, so I looked over my shoulder at him. I needed to seduce him, like he seduced me, so I need to release my inner temptress. I could just imagine the character just like look over the shoulder and look at him sexily and just like, yeah. I would feel miserably. At the first glance, I would fail miserably. I tried to be sexy and then I just laugh and be like, I can't do this. So I'd be a weird dork doing it. I slowly turned around, carefully formulating what I wanted to do for him, and looked deep into his eyes, despite the distance between us. Sit down. Mesmerized, Sam slowly made his way towards the bed, not breaking the gaze between us, and sat down in silence. Was he going to be obedient? Ah, crap. I should have gotten my sexy face on. Okay, deep breaths. Whew. I can do this. Sexy time initiated. Voice, please don't crack while I'm doing this, because the last thing I want is to screw everything up. I moved to the fireplace, knowing that it only took a couple of clicks to turn on music through my TV, as if a lady luck was on my side. The tune that began to play from it was a slow, sensual song. Score! Yeah. I looked at Sam as I slowly let the rope slide down and off my body, revealing what was underneath it. Sam's eyes instantly dilated at the sight, and his chest heaved in both surprise and desire. I channeled every ounce of sexuality I had in my body as I slid the robe away from me with my foot and ran my hands up my sides. Jesus, I wouldn't be able to do this with a straight face. I really wouldn't. I'd have a blush all over me, and I'd look away, and I'd just like, why? Sam, you've done so much for me.
Yeah?
I want to show you how much I care for you and want to thank you. Oh, jeez. Sam stared as I began sway. Okay. Whatever. As I began to sway my hips to the beat of the song, floating through the air. Oh my god. Sam's eyes traveled up and down my body as I ran my hands through my hair before bringing them down my shoulders and over my breasts. I'm literally just like so nervous right now, okay, I wouldn't be able to do this. Help! How was I able to do this with a straight face? I wouldn't be doing it with a straight face. I'd be blushing. I'd be looking away. I'd be like, I can't do this. I cannot be sexy. I can't do this. And I just like, no. I would mess up entirely. I would never be able to figure it out, but I went with it, walking to Sam and leaning forward a bit to hover my lips over his. As Sam leaned in to kiss me, I pulled back a bit and held a finger over his lips. You can't touch me until I say so. That includes kissing me. I could tell that every nerve in Sam's body and mind was firing just from looking into his lust-filled eyes. He was drowning in need, wanting to ravish me simply from what I had already done. How much farther could I push him? I wanted to find out. Oh jeez, I can kind of imagine how it would be since Sam is the brute and he's trying to gain control, but like when he loses control he becomes a beast. I can kind of imagine that since he's the brute demon. Sam obeyed, keeping his hands by his sides and on the bed and biting his lower lip to maintain some control of himself. It was actually rather refreshing to see him like this. I wouldn't make him wait long, however. I leaned back towards him, hovering my lips over his as he stared deep into my eyes. He wanted to kiss me. However, he remained still for me. Perfect. My hands began to reach for him and slowly began to remove the Letterman jacket and undershirt from his body. His glistening skin and the minimal light in the room had me licking my lips at the sight. He really was handsome. You got that right. Even more than that, he was all mine. Only I was allowed to do this to him, to touch him, to kiss him, to make love to him. Sorry, Carrie, but this dude is mine now. This bae is mine. I love you, Carrie. You're my bestie, but he's all mine now. So ha ha and ha. I'm sorry I sound so mean. Even though I love Eric is like main bae and all that shit. Sam is like, I'll come back to Sam too. And it's like, I love Sam a lot. He's adorable. He's a dork. He's an adorable dork. Okay, moving on. I was forever happy and grateful. I wanted to show him just how much he meant to me. I stepped back, my eyes tracing his form before running my hands over my body, over the lingerie that I'm pretty sure he wanted to tear off of me, and slowly dancing to the music. The sway of my hips and the way my fingers traced over my skin made him release some form of growl or desire-filled sigh. This show was meant for him, and soon he'd be able to ravish all he wanted, as soon as I brought him to the brink of his control. As much as I wanted to be dominant here, it was amazingly sexy to see him lose control and let me feel his rough and strong passion. I would drive him to that point with each hip sway and each trail my fingers created over my body. Knowing that I needed to prod him a bit further, I slowly walked over to him, standing directly in front of him. However, as I turned my back to him, I could feel his growl against my back, making me repress a shiver. The beast was slowly coming out. I swayed my hips even more, bending slightly to have my rear dance over his lap without actually sitting down on it. I had never really imagined I would give someone, let alone him, a lap dance. Okay, let me inform you right now, I will never do a lap dance in my entire life because 1, I don't like doing that. 2, I am a shy little shit. 3, I will be nervous the entire time and I will just be like, nope, I can't do this, and I would just walk out. So I am never doing a lap dance. Okay? Okay, moving on. His heavy breath against my back let me know that it was working to help build his desire. I smirked before rolling my hips in a circle, purposefully making my ass ever so slightly brush over his groin. My voice is cracking, damn it. I was rewarded with a growl, which made my smirk widen. Almost there. I continued to roll my hips in circles, straddling his lap while my back hovered barely an inch from Sam's chest. I slowly felt myself becoming hot at the dance, needing him to touch me and ravish me already. However, the goal was to make him break, not for me to command him to. I quickly turned around, straddling his lap and pressing my knees down onto the mattress as I met Sam's gaze. His eyes were shifting back and forth between gold and green. Just a little more. I placed my hands on Sam's shoulders before rolling my hips forward, letting it rub and grind against the heated bulge in his pants. I ran my nails over the back of his neck and pressed my chest to his, hovering my lips over his mouth once again. Sam, do you want me? Sam couldn't even speak a word. He was very quietly growling through his teeth, irritated that he couldn't touch me upon my demand. However, his eyes spoke volumes of his lust for me. The final breaking point. Ooh. I finally pushed forward and took his lips in mine, kissing him deeply. My core was on fire, and I needed him to break. I bit his lower lip, knowing that while it would show my power over him, it would very quickly be overturned. As Sam's hands gripped my ass. Ugh, voice cracking! Jesus Christ! As Sam's hands gripped my ass, I gasped in surprise, melting at the sensation of him, grabbing a cheek in each hand. I let out a hot moan against his lips as Sam pushed back against my mouth with his own needy lips. He pulled my waist tightly against him, grinding his hips into mine and letting me know how very hot he was as he came to learn just how hot I was for him. I let another moan rumble against his lips before I felt Sam pull my legs to wrap them around his waist. My arms circled Sam's neck as he stood up, lifting me with him. I continued to make love to his mouth with mine. He kept his hands on my rear. Voice. He kept his hands on my rear, massaging each cheek roughly as he turned around and climbed over onto the bed on his knees. Sam fell forward, pressing me down on the bed as he ground his hips in between my legs against my already burning desire. As I moved my arms, he quickly moved his hands from my ass and grabbed my wrists, pinning them to the bed beside my head. Sam pulled away and looked down at me, eyes gold with need and preparation for an enthrallment spell. His enthrallment over me was part of our sex, no matter how gentle or rough it was. It made each touch, each movement, and each dance 10 times more explosive and pleasurable. I felt warmth take over my body as Sam finally began to enthrall me, making me moan at how the heat made my core and desire scream to be relieved.
Don't move.
Okay. I nodded, yielding in desire but agreeing to his demands. The tables had turned, and I was ready to receive him however he wanted to have me. Sam, with almost insane speed, removed his pants and underwear, leaving him bare over me.
I'm not gonna hold back tonight.
Oh jeez. Okay. I hoped you wouldn't. Sam smirked before gripping my wrists, making me gasp again at the sensation.
Maybe I really am a brute.
No, you're not. Oh God. Okay. Need to keep going. Just can't. Okay. The view. Enjoy, people! I'm just gonna continue. I purred at the sight of his gaze. He seemed to be full of carnal passion, without restraint or desire to hold back. It was so alluring and delicious to see the lust in his eyes. Sam finally leaned down and claimed my lips, making hot love with them with his own as I moaned. His grip on my wrists tightened as he pressed his chest against mine. I could feel his heart pounding against my chest in rhythm with my own quickened pulse. His hand slowly released my wrists, knowing that I would keep them there, before trailing down my arms and tracing every curve of my body. He purred in delight with the shivers that ran through me at his touch. It wasn't long before he had removed, almost ripped apart, my lingerie, and pressed his nude body to mine. The warmth of our bodies made the air that much more heated, but also that much more sexual. Love burned our eyes as we gazed at each other, and I was left moaning and reeling at Sam, touching and caressing every part of my body. I became his to ravish, and he was mine to love and feel ecstasy with. As we finally made love, time became forgotten. Our sex was rough, hot, and crazed, wild like two beasts craving each other's touches and sounds. The bed creaked loudly with our lovemaking at the sound, and the sound was only accompanied by the sensual music that played on repeat, the slaps of skin between us and the moans that fell from our lips. I could just imagine the neighbors just be like, oh jeez, they're having sex again. Harold, they're having sex again! Just something like that. We quickly became louder than the music, but we barely noticed. All we cared about was how we made each other feel as we reached for each other's release. His emerald eyes bored into mine as we became lost in the pleasure between us, which was heated, crazed, wild, rough, and full of love. I could only stare back, needing to see him as I felt him. As he professed his love for me, I felt myself reel and rush faster towards the last string holding me together. As it broke, I gripped Sam and gave every ounce of love I had through a love profession of my own mixed with a hot and loud scream. We both drifted through a white, blissful glow of ecstasy and release, grasping each other and not wanting to let go. His arms enveloped me and held me to his body as I circled my arms around his neck and nuzzled into his shoulder. We were both very exhausted and very much full of love.
I love you. I love you so much, you doofus.
No, I don't care that you call me doofus anymore because that's just cute. I love you too, Sam. You dork. I practically purred as Sam ran his hands over my hair and back, soothing me into a peaceful sleep. The warmth of his skin and the hum of relief that washed over my body helped me drift to slumber at last. Woo! We're done. Excuse me for a moment. Ooh, I'm back. Yeah. Okay. Just needed to take a breather. Yeah. I did this before, but still, it gets me every time. Gets me every time. I felt myself drift through the darkness of slumber, both at peace and enjoying the warmth around me that it brought. I was tranquil, unable to feel anything but bliss. I loved that I often had the chance to experience this kind of sleep, which was good since I was stressed about the upcoming wedding. I needed proper rest. However, as I floated through the dark, I could faintly hear the sounds of fire swelling around me. I looked around through the dark, unable to see anything but blackness. What the? Slowly, the noise began to grow louder and louder, unrelenting its crescendo. I almost had to cover my ears from the sheer volume. Seriously, we're having a nightmare right after we had sexy time? That's cruel, man. That's just cruel.
You think you can stop me, boy?
Get the fuck out of my dream. Get the fuck out of my dream. I don't care. Get the fuck out. You don't belong here. You don't belong here. As I blinked, the dark around me shifted into a burning room. Flames touched every inch I could see, and in the midst of it all were Sam and his father, the Demon Lord. They were both wounded, but both were standing tall, confident as ever. Sam stood between me and the Demon Lord, protecting me from him. Still, I felt fear seep into my soul as I looked at the evil Demon Lord smirking at both me and Sam.
I will kill you, old man! I want to see you try. You don't even have the strength to save your precious human!
Wait, what? What? Did I just get stabbed? Really? Really? You're gonna do this to me? Okay, fine, whatever. I'm just gonna... Okay. Before I could figure out what he meant, an immense pain in my chest I felt an immense pain in my chest as something ripped through my back and stabbed through me. Sam turned towards me, horrified at what he saw, and I looked down to see a blade sticking out of my sternum. I couldn't even emit a whimper of pain as endless agony surged through my body, wrecking my nerves and distorting my vision. I could barely make out Sam arching back to scream at the sky, large flame-like wings erupting from his back. Oh dear Lord! Oh no! However, I felt my body give in to the pain and my vision turned black. I felt waves of agony crash into my body over and over as I remained on the edge of death. When I was finally able to open my eyes, I could barely make out Sam kneeling over me, resting my head on his knees as tears ran down his face. No! I don't want Sam to cry! Just thinking that he's this tough person and then he's letting out tears and he's like, he's not a person to cry. Just see him cry now is just like, no. Do not do this to me.
No. This can't be happening. No.
Don't cry, please. I'm sorry. From the look on his face, I really was dying. How could this be? Why was this happening? His hands quaked in disbelief as he ran along my cheek and used the other to hold my shoulders. I stared up at him, gasping for air as blood seeped over my skin. I was dying. I felt it. I knew it. Sam wept, but continued to stare down at me, trying to keep me awake and alive with his touch. However, I felt that I wasn't going to last much longer. I winced at the pain and reached an arm up to Sam, touching his cheek. Sam! I'm trying to make it like that I'm dying and I could barely speak since I'm dying and like feeling pain. So I'm trying to speak like that. Sam shook his head violently, not wanting me to use his energy to speak. I grimaced at the pain, but Sam continued to cry. My heart whimpered at the sight of his tears falling down his cheeks. I would cry too, trust me. I would cry too.
Please, no. I love you. Please stay with me. No.
Sam, I love you. I wanted to wake up, but I didn't have the strength to fight this illusion. I became lost in the pain that was pinning my body down and draining me of life.
I can't lose you! Please! Please. I love you.
This is breaking my heart. Kayla, why? Why? My chest wouldn't allow me to breathe in anymore. All I could do was exhale my last breath and close my eyes. No! Excuse me while I proceed to cry. Oh, thank you. I'm awake finally. I had to scream. I finally awoke, sitting up in bed and finally being able to fully breathe again. I panted, feeling the need for fresh air to circulate through my lungs and chest. I ran my hand over my chest, feeling no marks and knowing that I was indeed alive and awake. But what of Sam? I looked to the side to see him still sound asleep, lost in his dreams, which seemed to be peaceful just from the look on his face. I let out a quiet sigh, closing my eyes and looking to the ceiling. It was just a dream. Nothing more. Thank God he wasn't awake. Thank God. Thank God. It was merely a nightmare. I experienced them all the time. The more I thought of it, the more I could sense the fantasy of it. I was okay. We were okay. I ran a hand through my hair before lying back down, knowing that I would find solace in Sam's arms. As if by instinct, Sam wrapped both of his strong arms around my form, and I cuddled against his chest. We were fine. We were going to be fine. Are you sure about that? At last, the wedding day arrived. We had prepared all that we could, and everything was in order. Sam, wanting to follow human tradition and not see the bride before the wedding, headed to the venue to change into his tux. I, however, was alone. I didn't ask Naomi or Suzu to help, and I honestly didn't want them to. I needed to be alone before my wedding, so I got dressed and made myself into the perfect bride all on my own in my own mansion. I stared at myself, seeing exactly what I wanted to see in the reflection. I looked exactly how I wanted to on my wedding day. I smiled, unable to shake the feeling of happiness from my body. I'm getting married. I let out a small sigh as relief washed over my nervous smile. Everything was going to be fine. As I heard a car honking outside, I felt nervousness creep in once again. I shook my head. I needed to relax. Are we actually going to get married in this? Are we actually not going to be trust me, the first time I saw this, I was like, are we really going to get married? Are we not going to be stolen? Are we just going to go and get married? And then the game's over. I was so much like that. But then again, I was like, this is the Demon War after all. I grabbed the things I needed and rushed out, entering a white limousine. It was set to bring me to the venue, but I stopped the driver before he began to drive off. Can we stop somewhere first? And this is where everything turned to shit. The driver agreed, and I guided him towards the cemetery my grandfather was buried at. Grandfather! It had been 2 years since he passed away. My personal visits to his grave had become fewer as time went on, but I had never stopped going. Today, though, was an incredibly happy day. I was so full of emotion, I couldn't help but visit his gravestone. After all, I was about to marry a demon. I was about to marry the man of my dreams, and I wanted to stop there before going to the wedding venue to talk to my grandfather. I'm pretty sure I looked odd in that cemetery, wearing a wedding dress. However, I really didn't mind. I needed to come regardless. I stood by the grave, staring down at it with a smile. I'm getting married today, Grandpa. The wind gently danced around me as if my grandfather ushered it to reply. My smile grew brighter and I let out a sigh. I couldn't lie. I wanted my grandfather to be at my wedding, but I couldn't go back in time. Even if I was able to, how could I have stopped him from dying? Diana, this is all your fault. I still love you, though. 'Cause you're an awesome boss-ass bitch, but still. Can't believe you killed my grandfather. Hashtag spoilers for people who haven't seen Diana's route, which I highly recommend. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. Because you've just been spoiled. Yeah. Whoops. I shook my head. I didn't want to think of that. Not on the day of my wedding. I hope you'll be there in spirit, Grandpa. I'm sure you'll... Before I could continue my sentence, the sky suddenly became dark, causing me to look up. Rain began to fall and patter against the stone and the grass, as a haunting bell began to chime. What boggled my mind was the fact that the rain was avoiding my body. It was like I was in a safe circle, underneath an invisible umbrella, so that the rain couldn't soak me or my dress. What the... Was this grandfather's doing? Why was it raining all of a sudden? The rain became heavy and I didn't dare move from my spot, afraid of what would happen. I looked at his grave, confused and concerned. My eyes locked onto engraved stone. This wasn't a natural storm. Magic was at work here. My heart gave a squeeze in reply to my conclusion, but the word magic reverberated in my mind. Magic. I looked down and lifted my hands to scan over my gloved palms. My fingers began to tingle, almost as if that single word had unlocked something. Magic. I gently pinched the edge of the glove on my hand with 2 fingers and slid it off, revealing my bare skin. Nothing had changed, but I could feel that something was different. I could faintly feel energy zipping through the nerves under my skin, dancing in excitement at the word magic. I wonder. I knew Diana had taken my energy and my magic before she left. But what if I still had some left? I raised my hand to the sky and focused on the back of my hand. I didn't know what I was doing, but I had to see something. My mind quickly formed a word in my mind. I didn't know where it came from, but I let it fly from my lips as a soft whisper. Destino. As soon as the sound of that word rose into the air, the rain around me suddenly froze as if time had stopped. The wind was still slightly blowing, but the rain had stopped. I slowly lowered my hand and looked around. Did I really do this? Before I could move again, the raindrops and stormy clouds above began to fade away, returning to the sunny weather it had before. I looked around and noticed that the grass and the gravestone were all dry, as if the rain hadn't even fallen in the first place. That was...
I knew it! I knew it! That girl has demon magic.
What the?
Then quit talking and let's take her! The Demon Lord will be so pleased.
Fuck you and fuck the Demon Lord, because this is so full of fucking bullshit. Everything was going smoothly until you fucking imps came along. Alright, we are going to explore again. Whoop-de-doo! There was no way I was letting this chance pass me by. I stood and walked towards the door, opening it a crack and looking around. There was no one in the hall, but there were 2 directions to go. Which way? Okay, so I'm going to save here. Alright, let's go right. I went with right. I closed the door behind me as I exited my room and began to make my way down the right corridor. Everything was definitely medieval style and I felt a bit small in the hall. It was like I was in a fairy tale, walking around in a wedding dress. It felt almost dreamlike. The passage seemed long, decorated with wall candles, paintings, and random curtains and flowers. It was mystical to see and I smiled. As I approached another fork in the hall, however, I sighed. Really? How does anyone find their way around? I looked back, knowing I hadn't walked far from my room. I could turn back. Yet. We're going right again! I was heading right anyway. Might as well do it again. I turned right and headed down the hall, greeted by more fantastical decor. My journey down the hall led me to a set of stairs which led to a door to the outside. I remembered Diana's warning, but I was curious. I slowly approached the door and opened it, peeking outside to see what it held.
Soldiers!
Oh, fuck, we ran into Sergeant. Whoops. I jumped at the sound of a commander's voice, feeling the chill that ran through me when I first encountered the Demon Lord in the incubi's vision. The Demon Lord wasn't here. Was he? No. Sergeant. Our favorite soldier, sergeant, or commander, or, yeah, whatever. I peeked past the door once again to see the large, muscular man whom I had met when I fell into this world, barking orders at a large group of soldiers. They were all attentive and obedient towards each command he shouted.
You all performed well in holding the Demon Lord off. But if we want to win this war, then you will need to become much stronger. We want to win, yes?
Yes.
Yes, Commander! Good! Then pair up and fight like you were fighting the Bastard Lord himself. Keep going until I give you clearance to stop.
Oh, damn. This is one tough commander. On his order, the soldiers turned either left or right and began to spar as if they were seriously battling each other. It was almost scary to watch, swords clanging violently and shields beating against steel.
Human!
Hi! How you doing? I'm just gonna go back to my room now. I mean, what? I felt my fear taking over as he called out my race, making me stand up straight as the door fully swung open on its own. I wasn't able to hide anymore. Well, shit.
Front and center!
Okay! On its own, my body began to walk towards a muzzled ogre man, and soon I was standing front and center with the sparring clashing behind me.
Do you have jurisdiction to leave your room, human?
Yes. I mean, yes! Sorry, yes, sir! Oh my god, I can't. I felt my answer force itself out, as if I had no control over myself. Why was this happening? Look at his eyes. They turned yellow, so he's basically controlling us. I looked at the ogre man and noticed his golden eyes burning into my gaze. Was he using his powers on me? No freaking duh. The man crossed his arms and looked at my form.
Why are you here then?
I was curious. Straight to the point. I was curious. With a raised eyebrow, the man uncrossed his arms and looked over to a weapon rack. On it were spears, swords, shields, and other weaponry that I really did not want to deal with while wearing a wedding dress.
Tell me, are you proficient with a sword?
Huh? Is he seriously going to make me fight? I somehow regained control of myself and shook my head. No! I mean, I can do taekwondo, but...
Taekwondo? What is that?
It's a form of fighting, you know, with punching and kicking and... Yeah, something that you would be interested in, basically. I gulped, but remembered that he was a demon. Human fighting was not like demon fighting. Well, it's a form of fighting without weapons.
What, like brawling?
No, it's like precision fighting, I guess? I mean, I can't really show you in this dress, but...
Then take off your clothes.
This little shit. Really? I'm just gonna move on. My face instantly turned red. What? I stepped away and crossed my arms over my chest, feeling myself become red in anger and embarrassment. No! Why would I do that? The man growled inside, rubbing his head. Do you seriously think asking me that was a good idea? What was he? A pervert? Just like assuming Sam was a pervert when he stole our first kiss. The man then crossed his arms again and stared plainly at me.
If clothes hinder you from defending yourself, you shouldn't wear any. You can look as fancy as you want for whatever reason you want, but fancy clothes won't protect you from a blade.
I know that, but... Girl, you should fight with your wedding dress. You would look totally badass, like a bride fighting in the wedding. Like, that would be cool. That would be awesome to see. I stared. Was he seriously giving me a lecture about clothes and defending myself? He looked pretty serious, so I continued to listen without interrupting.
There's only one thing in this world that should matter to you. Yourself. If you can't protect yourself, then you need to fix that. Even if that means stripping out of that wedding garb thing or whatever you're wearing.
Oh. But I don't need to defend myself right now. I just wanted to show you.
Then show me or don't suggest the idea. Words also have power here. Unlike the human world, we take what we say very seriously.
Okay, got you, okay. I suddenly felt small looking at the man. Was he trying to teach me a lesson? I understood what he meant, but was he trying to teach me or berate my reaction? He was making no sense, yet I felt I should have been listening intently and obeying. Was it his commanding aura? The man shook his head and pointed at the door I came from.
Return to where you came from. You'll be sent back to the human world soon enough. Don't distract my soldiers from their training.
Okay, I'll be going back now anyway. I looked behind me to find some of the soldiers looking at me as they fought. Some in hunger. No. Do not. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't do that. This is making me uncomfortable. Okay. Anyway, some in hunger, some in confusion, others in disgust. Okay, disgust is fine. I don't care. My arms wrapped themselves around my form and I shivered before nodding to the commander and rushing towards the door. Maybe I should have stayed in my room. You don't say! I marched back to my room. Whoops. I marched back to my room, determined to not allow my curiosity to get the better of me anymore. The boys! My heart almost stopped. Falling from the chair and landing on the table were the 5 incubi brothers. They were piled on top of one another, having come through one at a time. However, as the last brother landed, the boys fell to one side, toppling off of the table and landing on the floor. The rebels around me stared at the fallen pile of incubi, confused and surprised. As the chair in the air closed, the ogre man was the first to lower his sword.
What the hell?
Who are they?
Careful, they could be the Demon Lord's men.
No! The rebels looked at me as I stood up, Diana following and still protecting me, and I stared at the boys on the ground. They all looked dazed and a bit shell-shocked from having fallen twice in rapid succession. I almost couldn't believe it. There they were, right in front of me. My mind couldn't help but remember how I'd first met them. They had all been on the floor of my mansion, unconscious and wounded. Now they were in front of me in the demon world. I know them. I stared at the one I was meant to marry, seeing him slowly shake his head and rise from the ground. Sam, you came to save me! Can I hug you now? I want to hug you tightly because I love you. Yeah. Okay. I see Eric in the corner too, but he has his own bay. So I gotta calm myself and focus on Sam, which isn't that hard to do because I love Sam very much. They came to rescue me. He came to rescue me. My heart became overjoyed and full of warmth and happiness. I was going to go home. The question was, How? As the sight of the boys kept the demon's attention, a second tear opened above them, causing everyone to look up. 4 women dropped down from the tear and somehow managed to fall into the arms of the incubi behind Sam. Twyla!
Whoa! Are you okay?
Norin!
I gotcha! It's okay!
Damien and Twyla and Matthew and Norin are like OTP material. Like, yes, please, thank you, stay together forever. Eric! Irene?
Love, I've got you!
Gonna let it slide because I love Sam right now. Okay. Whew. James! Iridessa is so cute!
Whoa! Are you alright?
I could just hear Madam hissing in the background, like, this bitch is mine, do not fucking touch it, but it's like, yeah. I could just hear Madam Sharky hissing in the background, like, James is mine, don't you fucking touch him. Oh jeez. To be honest, they're a cute couple, though. I stared wide-eyed. Their wives came too? I watched as the boys and the girls finally planted themselves on the ground before looking around. As Sam spotted me, however, his eyes widened in both surprise and anger. Oh shit! His gaze pinned itself to Diana, who still stood protectively in front of me, and his eyes instantly became painted over in an almost harsh gold color. Sam, no! Sam, no! Please don't! Please don't! Please!
You're fucking dead!
Oh jeez, he's gonna... Fuck. Within a blink, Sam and Diana vanished and reappeared against the wall behind me. As I turned to see what was happening, I gasped at the sight. Sam was pinning Diana to the stone wall, crushing her neck and holding her high enough so that her feet were dangling above the floor. Please don't, Sam! Diana was helping me, please! I love you, Sam. Come here. I need to calm you down.
I warned you, bitch! I will tear you to shreds!
But she didn't do anything, Sam! Sam! Before I could move, however, the guard jabbed the blunt end of the spear into one of Sam's knees, causing Sam to release Diana and buckle to his knees. Fuck, Sarah. Oh, jeez. Sam and Sarah are gonna be at it again.
You mangy dog!
Whoops. The guard quickly twirled his spear around and thrust it forward to skewer Sam, but missed as Sam fell back and laid himself across the ground, glaring up at his attacker. Filled with an almost terrifying rage, the guard stepped forward and went for another stab at Sam. Fortunately, Sam pushed the weapon away from him and directed it to the side, causing the blade to clang against the ground. The guard quickly pulled back and thrust his spear forward, but hit the floor again as Sam turned his body to the side. However, the guard wouldn't let Sam get up as he quickly continued to pull back and thrust his spear forward at Sam over and over, practically trapping him against the ground. I wanted to step in, but was too afraid of the blinding speed at which the guard was jamming his spear at Sam. I didn't want to provoke him to stab me in a blind adrenaline rush. Oh, Diana! Are you okay, girl? I want to help you. I looked at Diana, seeing her coughing and holding her neck while gasping for air. Her hand was glowing a soft purple tint, as if she was healing her neck from Sam's attack. Everyone else, however, had backed up away from the fighting pair, now wanting to become collateral damage from either of their attacks. As Sam sat up, the guard retaliated with a lightning-fast response and kicked Sam back down, slamming the bottom of his foot into Sam's face to do so. Shit! However, before the guard could slam his spear down at his target, Sam rolled out of the way and got up on his hands in a spinning handstand. That would have been cool to see. I had never seen him fight like this, even with Malix, but Sam was still undoubtedly trained in combat, even when he didn't have the upper hand. Sam flipped onto his feet and faced off against the guard in a martial arts defense stance before a sudden barrage of spear thrusts forced Sam to duck, lean, and dodge away from the guard. Unrelenting, the guard thrust his spear as fast as a machine gun's shots towards Sam, no longer looking to aim precisely but hoping to land at least once. At one particularly hard thrust, the guard leaned his body into the attack, but only managed to miss Sam by a mere centimeters as Sam tilted to the side and let the spear cross over his chest without making contact. I looked at Diana, hoping that she would call off her guard, but she continued to stare at the floor, recuperating from Sam's attack. We gotta stop him, man. We have to stop him. I had to stop this from becoming worse. I stepped forward, not entirely getting between the two fighters, and shouted to get both of their attentions. Stop it! Sam looked at me, suddenly obeying my voice as I ran out through the room. The guard, however, leaned back for a second attack, uncaring of my command. Before the guard could follow through with his attack, a large snap echoed through the air, forcing everyone in the room, including me and Sam, to look over and see Diana glaring at her guard.
Enough!
Diana slowly straightened and pointed at the space beside her, ushering the guard to quickly run over to where she had indicated and turn back to face the rest of us. Sam looked to me with eyes full of bloodlust, begging me silently to continue the fight. Please don't. I glared back, trying to break through his rage to get him to calm down. He relented and gritted his teeth before nodding and looking over to Diana and her guard.
I'll forgive you for now, brute.
Oh, jeez.
Forgive me? What makes you think that the one who needs forgiving is me?
Oh, jeez, Sam.
I didn't do anything!
Then why is she here then? Sam!
Oh, jeez, James, stepping in. Oh, jeez. Sam and I turned to look at James, who was incredibly furious. By the look of it, the others were as well.
Look at her! Does she look like she's been hung during chains?
I mean, he acted on instinct like I was in danger or something. Even though he is a dork and a dumb little shit. He just looked at me once just to see, and just seeing Diana, just like in the first game, just seeing Diana made him upset because I was his and he was mine. And then he's just like, do not fucking touch her. So it's like on impact, like, as soon as he saw her, he just became blind with rage, like she took me away, even though I'm not in danger. Just went straight into attack, so I really don't blame him. He acted on instinct. Sam looked at me as I met his gaze in almost perfect sync. Still, that wasn't worth him fighting anyway. I was indeed fine. Diana didn't hurt me. In fact, it had been the opposite. She wanted to protect me and send me home. The look in Sam's eyes, however, melted into one of longing and relief when he finally absorbed my appearance. It was like watching a beast instantly calm at the sight of its master. Without giving me a moment to breathe, he rushed over and wrapped me in his arms, burying his face in my shoulder. Ah! Sam!
I'm so happy you're safe.
My heart melted as I heard him whisper in my ear. I gripped him tightly, returning a close embrace and thankful that I could feel the one I loved once again in my arms. Sam tightened his grip on me, nuzzling into my shoulder. Kiss him! Kiss him! Kiss him! Yes, I gently moved my head and kissed over his cheek and neck, wanted to show him my affection and relief that he was in my arms again. Sam shuddered slightly at the touch of my lips and planted his own loving kiss on my neck. I fought back a moan at the rush of pleasure I felt from his lips touching my skin, managing to hide it. Please, not here. Not now. At last, Sam and I slowly broke away from each other. Sam looked over to Diana with a softer expression, but nonetheless a serious one.
Why is she here?
Diana pressed her lips together. I could see a small form of hesitation in her eyes as she looked at Sam and quickly formulated her answer.
Ask your father.
I felt a burst of energy flash beside me at her answer, which drew my attention back to Sam. His body became wrapped in a dark green aura as his eyes flashed gold once again. Shit!
What did you say?
Your father brought her here and placed a curse on her. She can't leave this world until she dies, or...
Another flash of energy. Shit! The aura around Sam pulsated, almost crackling like lightning around his form. Sam gritted his teeth and I could tell rage was slowly taking over.
I'm gonna kill that old fuck!
I know you will. You will. Sam! I quickly placed my hand on his shoulder, knowing that he needed to calm down. We had a plan. He didn't need to be this angry right now. Sam looked over at me, calming down slightly at the sight of my worried face. We're going to kill him, Sam. Calm down. The aura around Sam slowly began to dwindle and die out as the golden glow in his eyes faded. I let out a small sigh of relief as I felt the muscles in his shoulders relax under my hand. As I looked down, Sam spoke up once again, his voice sounding drained from his sudden rage.
You got a plan to kill him?
Yes, we plan to kill him in 1 week's time.
1 week?
Okay, so I was thinking that since we're dealing with Sam here and he has anger issues and whatnot, this is like fighting. This is like a whole fighting route we're going through. And so I'd say, instead of saying the trap, I'm gonna say the curse. Everyone in the room looked at me in surprise as I finally spoke up. The Demon Lord had trapped me here with the blood of 1,000 demons. It was only fair to trap him with the life of just one. Will the curse work with just one life?
Yes. He won't be able to escape because of its dark magic.
I'm really sorry, Sergeant. I really am. Just very, very sorry.
Are you sure this is the best choice?
A monster like him won't stop if we box him in. That kind of worked out though when we boxed him in. Anyway, we have to ensure that he won't be able to do anything while we prepare to fight back. Everyone nodded, most in reluctance, while the others stayed with confidence. Diana, however, turned to the orc man with a stern face.
As for your reluctance, Sir Brute, we won't be using one of your men.
Yes, I knew Diana was going to be that rootless.
Well then, who would you use?
Oh shit, her eyes. At that moment, Diana smirked, sending a familiar shiver down my spine. For a split second, I swore I saw a flash of gold cross her visible eye as she replied to Matthew.
A little mongrel who had the nerve to electrocute me in my own castle.
Ooh, she's gonna kill one of the imps. Yes, baby, yes, Diana, go! I stared. There really was an imp in the castle? However, my mind released the question to focus on Diana's smirk. Something was off about Diana, and I couldn't put my finger on what it was. When I came to the demon world, I had barely recognized her and didn't expect her kindness. Now, as I was staring at her at that moment, I again recognized the woman who had attacked me in the human world. The white top shifted into a long-sleeved, oversized tunic with a leather corset and vest, while the bottom part of my gown split and wrapped around my legs, forming into dark leggings. My shoes stretched into long knee-high boots.
Ooh, interesting outfit.
Thank you, Irene. Thank you. Can't hate you because obvious reasons, but you're still with my bae Eric. But still, thank you for the compliment. Moving on, because Sam is bae right now. I blushed, getting used to the feel of the outfit. The corset wasn't tight, but it was still something new along with the rest of the garb. Sam looked at me up and down before glancing away, blushing a bit. Tsundere mode activated.
You look good.
Tsundere mode activated. Oh, jeez. Thanks.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I need to head for the Demon Lord's castle.
You do you, Diana.
Do you plan to shadow travel?
No, I have another method. Don't worry. I'll be back by morning.
Okay. Diana looked at Faye and nodded to them as they pressed their lips together in a tight line.
Faye, please escort our guests to the remaining open rooms while I'm gone.
All right.
Thank you, Faye.
Set up.
Yes, my lady.
Seto walked toward Diana and followed her out of the room. The other demons, however, looked towards us.
I'll take you to your rooms then.
Thank you. We truly appreciate it.
Fuck you! We don't appreciate it at all. I'm sorry, I had to do that. It's part of the bloopers. I just had to put that in there. Bradley's the best. Okay? Best of the bloopers at random statements in the bloopers. Okay, moving on. Thanks, Faye. My mind for a moment wandered to Diana, remembered her almost evil smirk when we decided to perform the curse. What was she planning to do? Hopefully, nothing truly sadistic. Alright, and that's it for... Whoops. That's it for this video, this episode. So I'll continue Sam's route in the next video. Damn, that was long. It was like almost 2 hours recording. Well, I'm gonna edit some stuff out. So it'll probably be like almost 2 hours, but still. I told you this would be really long. Ooh, I wanted to end it earlier, but I figured just go with it, so get to a certain point. So yeah, anyways, thank you guys for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more of my videos, then click subscribe. Anyways, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!